So that was the first time, and then I knew then I had to be able to slow things down because things were happening too fast. You couldn't make good decisions, and you had to make good decisions or you're going to be dead. So that's the one lesson I learned right then and there. Anyway, shortly thereafter, a 3rd platoon came through. I hooked up with them, and then we left for a town called Bong Song, which is on the coast. I'm trying to think. I think it's fairly close to Hue, up in that area. Vietnam is divided up into 4 corps. 2 corps, all of 2 corps, the southern part of 3 corps, and the northern part of I Corps. So basically, there's a map I got in there from just north of basically Saigon all the way up through Pleiku, Dak To, all that area up there. So we moved around a lot. Anyway, we went to Bong Song. Okay, this is Echo Company, 20th Infantry, Long Range Patrol, Airborne. In the 1st of February, we were switched over to 75th Rangers. Okay. All the LORP units became 75th Rangers. Anyway, Charlie Company was a bastard company. We had no papa. We didn't have no mama. We were the largest Ranger company in Vietnam. We had 3 active platoons that were never ever together. They were always in separate areas of the country. So we had our own airplane, an O-1. We had our own helicopters assigned to us, everything. So on paper, each platoon was supposed to be able to put 7 teams, 7 6-man teams in the field at one time. That was on paper. Didn't happen. 4. If we could put 4 platoons, 4 per platoon, we were doing good. Anyway, so we were in Bong Song.
So what is your expressed mission at this point?
To find out what's going on in the area we're assigned to.
So it's all reconnaissance.
It's all recon.
Uh-huh.
Now, occasionally we were told to try to get prisoners. I have gone out on missions where we were supposed to start a fight and they were going to reinforce us. I've done other types of missions, but mainly we would go out in an area and survey that area, essentially. We would see where the trails were. We would determine how often the trails were used. We would determine whether the trail was people or animals, okay? Because you had game trails also. And find out where the water, everything you can about that area, okay? We had a firefight in a tunnel. I'll get to that right away. Anyway, so we're the largest Ranger company in Vietnam. We were basically hired guns. Okay, here's the people I worked for. One, I worked for the 173rd Airborne. I worked for the 4th Division Army. I worked for the South Korean Army. I worked for the Vietnamese Army. I worked for the Air Force. And I worked for the CIA. So I ran missions for all these. So anyway, this particular mission in Bong Song was for the Air Force. There were 2 areas in Bong Song. One was the Crow's Foot and one was the Fish Hook. And this is a river system. And it was quite active. And the Air Force had put in a B-52 strike. They wanted... They wanted us to go in and see if they'd hit anything, so we went in. And we're walking along and we see these tracks. And we see these tracks, they go down into this crater. Now there's a series of craters, 750-pound bombs, okay? And it looked like someone took a bulldozer and bulldozed out of a stream or something. We walked down in there the craters are higher than we are. We can't see out of the craters. So we turn this corner and we see this fin from a bomb. Someone had taken a hacksaw and sawed off the fin. So we got the serial number off the fin, called it back to headquarters. To operations, and they called back and said, well, that's a fin off a 750-pound bomb. So we knew there was a 750-pound bomb around there somewhere because so we're walking, we're following the tracks. And we come around this corner, and they had dug like a cave inside of the crater. And that's where the tracks were going. So my point man went in, then I went in, and the problem was once you went in there, it was dark, so it took a bit for your eyes to get accustomed to the light. And you went in straight, and then there was a curve, been dug out this way. And as I turned this curve, there's this person pointing an SKS at me. It's a type of rifle they use, right in my face. And right about that time, it was like a grayish, pinkish cloud came over me. There was no more noise. Everything was, I thought I was dead. I thought I'd been shot. What had happened is when this guy turned the corner, my point man saw him, shot him in the back of the head, and his whole front. So we collected his rifle, and then we went in and we found the bomb. They were scooping it out with the sea ration cans.
How'd the bomb get there? Was it unexploded?
Yes. It was
that had been dropped from an airplane?
Yes, from B-52.
All right.
It was a string of bombs and it didn't go off. It was a dud for some reason. Basically, they cut the tail fin off and rolled it in, and it dug this hole in the crater, So anyway, a fuse, and we stuck it in there. The fuse was a 90-minute fuse. So we popped the fuse and then ran like hell, Pretty much got out of there before the bomb went off. We were out far enough that we weren't hurt,